We know you like talking Star Wars. We like talking Star Wars. So that's exactly what we're going to do. This is The Wars and More.
All right, so last week things got pretty much boiling surrounding a certain fan film, but this week things have kind of simmered down to kind of a slow news week. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's very much to talk about this week. There's some notable things going on, but
Sure.
in the way of, breaking news, there's not really anything.
No.
The Star Wars show is still kind of MIA.
Right.
I was really expecting them to come back this week with something big because they've kind of taken quite the hiatus.
Right.
It's leading me to believe even more, though, that when they come back, I would anticipate we're probably going to see something big surrounding episode 9.
Possibly.
I mean, maybe not super huge, like a trailer or nothing like that.
Right.
But I would expect them to maybe come back with maybe a title.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe we'll, I don't know. We'll get a trailer date.
Right.
I don't know.
No, something like that would be awesome. That would be, that's long anticipated news right there. That's for sure.
Either that or at least the first round of Star Wars superstars for Celebration,
Right.
Something like that. Your Mark Hamill's, Ian McDiarmid, Daisy Ridley,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Totally.
But, yeah, definitely very quiet over there.
Yeah.
But, so something we've been keeping our eyes on, and, we caught wind that it was up in a big list of titles to be nominated for an Oscar. Solo.
Right.
Has been nominated for a visual effects Oscar.
This is awesome.
Some stiff competition out there, though. So, also nominated for this visual effects Oscar is Avengers: Infinity War.
Ooh.
Christopher Robin.
Okay.
First Man. And Ready Player One.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah, that is some very stiff competition.
Especially since ILM, has their finger on the scale a little bit for 3 of these.
Right. Yeah, well, there's no surprise there. I mean, let's be real. When it comes to visual effects, as far as I'm concerned, they are like the top house to go to. So,
yeah, and they're weighing in with the 3 most action-packed of these titles.
Right.
Which is Infinity War, Ready Player One, and Solo.
Right. Yeah, we did some talking about Ready Player One, and I think there's no argument that visually that movie is stunning. So I could see something like that giving Solo a run for its money. That's for sure.
Yeah, but Christopher Robin and First Man are no slouches themselves when it comes to.
No, I'm with you. I just think These other three films are just, like you said, action packed, and there's a lot going on there. And I don't know. And to be fair, I haven't seen the other two films, so they're just not as much my wheelhouse. But
Right.
From what I have seen, trailers and things like that, the three, adventure, superhero, whatever films are, I don't know. They're far more of an visually epic, film, whatever. But
Right.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Because when you make animated characters look like real, it's no small feat. I understand, but it's also like you just kind of forget about that, and sometimes you can forget about that and just get caught up into the story, which I think is what they're going for. But
So there is one noticeable film missing here that ILM also had their hand in that I quite expected to be in the visual effects category.
Okay.
That's Black Panther. But
Right.
I'm sure that it not being here is probably due to the fact that it's up for Best Picture.
Right. Of course. I mean, and that's the category everyone wants to be in. So
Right.
I would say they consider that a fair trade-off.
I'm sure they do. So that's another one we'll be watching closely because that genre of film, okay,
right.
is not something that typically ends up in Best Picture.
Correct.
So that is already a feat in itself.
Yes.
I'll group it all together. The comic book, sci-fi, kind of genre
right.
has always been snubbed
Absolutely.
from the Best Picture category. So for Black Panther to break its way in there is a good sign for our fandoms.
I totally agree. And I would love nothing more than for this to open the door for films like this to, keep making their way into the Best Picture category.
Well, I'll say
in years to
because I'll say it's always kind of pissed me off that the highest grossing films of the year don't seem to get into Best Picture. Star Wars never has been in there.
Oh, yeah.
So to see, I believe was it the highest grossing film of the year? Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it might have been.
So to see not only it be a comic book film and all that, but be a comic book film and the highest grossing film of the year break into that category is a big deal.
Yeah, totally.
So actually, I don't know what it might have been Infinity War that got the highest grossing, but I don't know. One of those two did.
Right?
So either way, big deal.
Totally big deal.
And ILM killing it again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Real quick.
So,
hold
yeah.
on. Real quick. So we got 1 and 2, right? I just went to the Google machine here. And, yeah. Number 1, Black Panther. Number 2, Infinity War. So.
All right, good. I'm not crazy for thinking it was one of those two.
Exactly. So, okay. Moving on.
Was it close?
Yeah. 700 million for Black Panther and 678 for Infinity War.
Okay, that's domestic.
It doesn't differentiate on this Google page. So I'd have to dig deeper to find that out. But
I thought worldwide Black Panther was over $1 billion.
it may very well be. So I would have to assume that's domestic then.
Big numbers.
Right.
So makes nothing but sense that it should be in for best film. You hear me, Academy?
Exactly.
All right. So Richard E. Grant. He's playing a yet unnamed role in episode 9.
Wait, I thought he was going to be Thrawn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Officially unnamed.
Right.
He commented on the secrecy of episode 9. And I gotta say, this is some next level stuff here, man.
Exactly. We've heard about some of these things, but he puts it into context where you get it all kind of put together, and it's like, dang, this is... I don't think there's this much security at my bank. And
No,
they got my
there
money.
So he says this. He says, it's extraordinary. They don't give you a script. You have to go to a room where there are bodyguards outside, closed circuit television cameras, and it's printed on crimson pages so you can't photograph it. You have to read it in there and leave.
Wow. So we've heard about the crimson pages before.
Yep.
Mark Hamill's talked about that kind of stuff. But to have bodyguards, not necessarily guarding him, but guarding the pages he has.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, oh, I need to get a refresher for today. I need to go into the vault.
Right.
So they end up asking him, how do you remember your lines, with that kind of secrecy? He says, you're given pages on the day that you work. You have to sign for them and sign out for them as well. And there are security guards on the set. So they make sure that when you take them out, you sign for it. And when you bring them back, you sign that you brought them back.
Wow.
That's next level, dude.
That is totally next level. Yeah, I guess they get to keep track of who's got what as far as the pages then.
So it doesn't stop there. So on set, when they're moving from building to building and things like that, they also take precautions against drones. Because apparently there are drones flying over trying to, snap a picture of their costumes and stuff.
Wow.
So when you move around outside, they give you a cloak over your head so they can't photograph you when you're moving from building to building at Pinewood.
Wow.
That's like, what?
I'm surprised they don't just throw you into an SUV with blacked out windows and drive you there. I mean, that's kind of nuts. And drones. Oh my gosh.
Well, the drones I'm not surprised about.
I'm not surprised.
People go to great lengths to try and get any bit of information.
I'm surprised that we're not hearing that they have some sort of, surface to air drone defense mechanisms or something.
They're shooting down drones at Pinewood.
Hey, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it was true. I'm not saying it is, but,
They got the anti-drone Patriot missile system.
Right. It's a bottle rocket.
It's a Star Wars version of the Iron Dome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little Death Stars positioned around Pinewood to shoot down drones.
Now that I could get into.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. They always talk about JJ's secrecy, right?
Right.
And this is more than JJ. Like,
this is like you said, next level stuff. This is beyond anything I would have imagined. That's for sure.
Pinewood Studios has better protection against leaks than the U.S. government.
Right.
Any government, for that matter.
Right. Well, that's difficult when, the president has Twitter, so.
Yeah. They all have Twitter now.
This is true.
But enough politics. We're not here for that crap.
Exactly.
All right. So, Galaxy's Edge. It seems every week we're talking about Galaxy's Edge. We're getting closer.
Yes.
Each week they reveal a little more. Well, here's a neat way to reveal, kind of get you into the story and what you're going to be into. There will be a Marvel Galaxy's Edge comic series coming in April.
Awesome.
There'll be a 5-issue miniseries to expand your knowledge on the events that take place on the planet Batuu.
This is cool. There's a couple different outlets for us to experience Batuu now, I guess. So, it played rather prominently in Thrawn Alliances. And, now we're going to have this comic miniseries. So I guess that'll, between all of that, that'll give us context for what we're going to be walking into. So going to be kind of cool.
Yeah. So this is from StarWars.com. This is a little, their reveal here. So it says, pirates, smugglers, merchants, and wanderers from across the galaxy have traveled to make their score or sell their wares at the infamous black market located at Blackspire Outpost on Batuu. In April, journey to this locale in the Outer Rim in the new Marvel Star Wars comic series, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which ties into the new lands opening at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort later this year. Readers of the 5-issue miniseries will be the first to meet the infamous Doc Ondar, the Ithorian collector of rare antiquities, and find out what happens when the First Order reaches the edge of wild space. The key to saving this lawless outpost might just involve a job pulled long ago by none other than Han Solo and his cohort, Chewbacca. The series is written by Ethan Sachs, who recently entered the Star Wars Comics Galaxy with Tale of a Jedi Master, Mace Windu, in the Star Wars Age of Republic series. The series will be illustrated by Will Cini. He is the artist behind the Beckett one-shot.
Sweet.
And who also penciled the comic adaptation for Solo, a Star Wars story. So
cool. Sounds interesting. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to give us a little background. There's going to be those staple things for us, I'm sure, with it being Galaxy's Edge being the quote unquote Star Wars land, there'll be recognizable things for, all Star Wars fans. But if you want to get like the inside track, the background, pick up this miniseries. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'll be a good way to know what you're getting into, I guess.
Right.
Neat way to do it.
Yeah.
How many theme parks get a comic book series?
Yeah, it's a good way to think about it, isn't it? Yeah. I can't say this will be the first that I'm aware of, but it'll definitely be different.
When we imagined a Star Wars theme park way back in the day, I don't know that we imagined a theme park that would be mentioned in Star Wars novels.
Right.
Comic book, like a theme park that would have its own lore its own place in the galaxy.
Yes. And this is where you got to give the creators of all this a lot of credit, because and I'm sure this is the work of a lot of very smart people, pitching ideas back and forth to one another. But in my mind, my imagination was, hey, look at this roller coaster. We're calling it the X-Wing Trench Run, or something like that. And, that's kind of, when you see what they're doing with Galaxy's Edge, what I was imagining before was kind of like really limited in scope. So.
Yeah, we were kind of really thinking small potatoes back in the day, weren't we?
Exactly.
Like, doing it this way really has it really feeds that whole, they want this to be a living, breathing thing,
Right.
Evolving.
Well,
and
we've heard them say that, evolving for years to come. And we've actually played those clips a couple of shows ago, which is very cool.
I mean, so they're almost setting this up to kind of, and I don't know if this is how extensive they're going to go with this, but they're almost setting this up to where you could go visit Galaxy's Edge, right?
Yep.
And then, not go back for a couple years, right?
Yeah.
But read about it, read about events that happen with characters or places on Batuu, and then go back and see the effects of those stories, not like in real time, but like to see those effects,
Yeah, the outcome of those
to see the repercussions of that.
Yeah. That's really intriguing. I love that idea. That's the sort of thing that'll make you keep coming back every couple of years, like you say, because you want to know what's going on. It's like, well, they talk about it being like, you step into the Star Wars universe and become part of the story.
Yeah, live out your own story.
Right.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Definitely setting the stage.
Right.
All right. So, Dave Filoni's been busy.
Yeah.
In between The Mandalorian and his work on Resistance, his work on the Clone Wars, he managed to find time to design some hockey jerseys.
Yeah.
So Dave Filoni designed the hockey jerseys for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for their Star Wars night on March 30th.
That's awesome. These Star Wars event nights at sporting events, if you ever get a chance to go to one, definitely take the opportunity, because they're always a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, sure. I went to one for the Toledo Walleye hockey.
Yep.
It was really cool. It was right before The Last Jedi come out.
Awesome.
So they had a lot of Last Jedi themed stuff.
Uh-huh.
This looks cool though. I mean, this emblem's really cool. It's a clone trooper helmet over top of the standard Penguins triangle. They got that same kind of logo as they have a triangle. I believe the Pittsburgh Penguins have a circle, right?
I'm not sure. I'll let you mention it.
I don't like the Penguins.
Yeah. Right. I'm with you, but
but Dave Filoni does.
Yes, he does.
I mean, no, they have a triangle as well. So
yeah.
They have that yellow triangle. So it's the clone trooper helmet over that yellow triangle. I was right the first time.
Yep. So, we know nothing here, okay? I want to be clear on that. But since Dave Filoni, originally from Pennsylvania, and took the time to design this jersey, I don't know. Might be worth a gamble on maybe trying to see if he shows up at the game. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
I mean, he does like hockey, plays hockey.
Right?
So, yeah. Pretty neat. Have something to add to the conversation? Or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsAndMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsAndMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com. All right, so EA Star Wars. Does it get any more turbulent? Like,
yeah.
You know, we started talking about the cancellation of the open world Star Wars game that was announced last week.
Right.
EA has since made released a statement. Of course, it's dodgy.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm reading from Fantha Tracks. This is EA's statement. There's been speculation overnight about one of our Star Wars projects. As a natural part of the creative process, the great work by our team in Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content and games. We're fully committed to making more Star Wars games. We're very excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn, and we'll share more about our new projects when the time is right. You know, maybe you should release information on your new products when you release the product. Like,
right.
just don't even announce it. Just release it.
Right.
Like, just, hey, we got a new game here.
That's funny.
Because, I mean, really? So, they're saying that this game is going to evolve into future games. Well, this game was an evolution of a prior game that was canceled.
Right.
So, you're headed towards a never-ending cycle here.
Yeah.
And as far as Jedi Fallen Order, I mean, it's not out yet, so its fate is unknown.
Exactly. And I gotta say, from my viewpoint, this line, and we'll share more about our new projects when the time is right, sounds a lot to me like we'll let you know when we think of something. That's I don't know.
Yeah, this is it's. I hate to be like that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like this, but you kind of deserve it, EA. I mean,
right.
Hey, we got this great stuff coming for you. Never mind. But we're gonna take that. We're gonna make it into something else. Oh, never mind. You know?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I got this great idea. Why don't you talk to Disney, who owns 1313?
Right.
Get them to let you finish that, since it was pretty much done. I mean, it'd take all the work out of it for you.
Yeah.
You know, just put the polish on and release that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, I would imagine. For me, this I don't know. I'm not as big of a gamer, right? But this does sound dodgy. You put it really really well there. Dodgy. It's and one thing always makes me a little leery is, which title were they talking about coming out? Coming out roughly around the same time as new console might be coming out. It's that always makes me leery. You know what I mean? At least for me, because I'm not necessarily one who's going to be out day one to buy a new console. So, you know what I mean?
I would.
I know you would, but I don't know.
I definitely wouldn't place a pre-order on a console based on something EA was telling me, though. Like,
right.
That's just where I'm at right now. And that's where a lot of Star Wars gaming fans are right now. You get to a point where you don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Like I said, they could put out a trailer tomorrow for Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Yep.
And I think my excitement level would be mediocre.
Yeah.
Because their track record with actually putting out a game is slim.
Right.
I mean, they're shooting 50%. Let's just say this is only 2 canceled projects, right?
Right.
Well, they've only put out 2 games.
Right.
And those 2 games are Battlefront and Battlefront 2.
Right.
And Battlefront 2 wasn't exactly a successful launch.
No, it had its stumbling blocks, that's for sure.
Now, Battlefront 2 did hit its stride.
Yes.
It got a lot better. Here's the problem, though. Battlefront 2 has not grabbed your typical Star Wars gamer now. It still hasn't grabbed everybody because of its shaky start.
Right.
So with what happened with Battlefront 2, you can't rely on Battlefront 3 to save the day.
Exactly.
Because everybody's still going to be sour on the first one. You need a single-player game. A single-player game that's not going to rely on this, marketplace crap that everybody's doing right now.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
And because even though they did away with the so-called pay-to-win
right
thing with Battlefront, they still ended up coming out with a way to monetize the game even further.
Yes.
And they still packaged it with this, hey, all this added content's going to be free. But if you want this Vader skin, you got to buy it.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
well, that kind of stuff definitely, I don't want to say it turns me off, but like I said, things like this make me leery of jumping in because, being the, I'll say, moderate to light gamer I am, not, I don't know. That might be pushing it, but, I'm leery to, invest into it because it's, I don't know. I what little time I do have for gaming, I don't want to be disappointed. I guess, you know what I'm saying?
I'll put it this way, like Battlefront 3, if that's your next title, you're probably going to end up canceling a bunch more projects because people are going to wait to buy Battlefront 3 until it hits the value bin.
Right.
Because of the way the first one went. Yeah, okay, yeah, you did right to ship, but people don't see that writing. The press for writing the ship is a lot less than the press for the pay-to-win launch.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that the rebound needs to come from Jedi Fallen Order or this open world project that they were working on.
Right.
I mean, BioWare was like ready to make another Knights of the Old Republic game. And that was squashed,
Right.
with EA's acquisition of the Star Wars titles.
Yeah. And man, there are a lot of people who have fond memories of that game.
Yes. And I can tell you what, no one that has fond memories of that game is going, yeah, I really hope EA picks up the torch on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are people who, not even anything to do with Star Wars. You say EA and they go, oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they're kind of proving they're. I really hate being like this, but it's true. EA is proving to be kind of a one-trick pony here.
Yes.
Because Battlefront is just they're using the same engine they use for Battlefield.
Right.
So they can make a Madden game every year. They can make an NHL game every year. And they can make a Battlefield game every year.
Yep.
And, hey, they're already working on the Battlefield game with that engine. So, yeah, might as well throw together a Battlefront game.
Right.
So, I don't want to downplay all the work that goes into those games. Like a Battlefront. The story mode in Battlefront 2 was a lot of fun.
Right.
I think maybe some big expansions to that might be another way to kind of right the ship, or even if you come out with Battlefield 3 or Battlefront 3, package it with a huge campaign.
Yeah, that's more of what I'm talking about.
A lot of story content.
Yes.
Don't focus it around the multiplayer like the last two have been.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's for sure.
Or package it like the old Battlefront games with this like kind of conquest mode that they had in the old Battlefronts, where you could sit with your friends in a room, or you can make it to where you can play it locally or online.
Okay.
But I think local play would be a good idea here, as far as trying to grab the old Star Wars gamers and get them back into it, bring that kind of conquest mode back, and focus on that, group play, friend play.
Right.
Not person I don't know across the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
But I don't know. They yeah, we'll come back to Battlefront in a minute. But so Gary Whitta chimed in on the EA debacle. So Gary Whitta has some cred in this department.
Right.
Because before today, I didn't know this. That he was a former editor-in-chief of PC Gamer.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I'd call that cred for sure.
So he knows a little bit about gaming. And let's see, let's just try and parse some of his. Let's see. He says he referred to EA efforts as an embarrassment, and went on to say, "I would just take the license away from EA because it's been catastrophically mismanaged."
Ouch. Nice.
He referred to the Star Wars deal for EA as the crown jewel of video game franchise licenses.
Yeah. Wow.
And this one I'm gonna shorten his words here a little bit. And even this is a little more than I like to do, but I'm gonna do it for the sake of this. He says, "If I was an EA shareholder, I'd be effing furious at the way it's been handled."
Wow. Yeah. So
my apologies. That is a little further than I'd like to go, but
yeah. Well, hey. But
I think it's important here. You know, like
this is a guy, like you said, with some cred, just laying it out there. I mean, and his comments on this are not unlike so many of the fans. So I don't know. I feel like something's got to be done about it, but
and of course, his credibility is not just that he was editor in chief at PC Gamer, but I mean, he did co-write a little story, called Rogue One.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah, for sure.
So he goes on to talk about the canceled projects, right?
Yep.
And the first project that they had was codenamed Ragtag, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So he says Ragtag basically would have been Star Wars Uncharted. my understanding of what they were saying all the way through was, but we don't want to make Star Wars Uncharted. Well, maybe don't hire the narrative director from the Uncharted games to make it for you then.
Right.
Like, figure out what it is you actually want. You know? He says, so they cancel that. They throw their resources into this other, more ambitious game, and then they cancel that. So, yeah, it's no love lost here from...
Right. Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, somebody, I'm not quite sure who, needs to step in there and maybe give them some direction. I don't know. Or maybe he's right. Maybe it's time to take that license somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah. But, then you're starting over, basically, right? You're starting from square one again. But I guess in the long run, you probably end up with better products, right?
Yeah. I mean, how close to starting from square one are you right now?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you still have Jedi Fallen Order.
Right.
Supposedly. So I hope that project works out and that EA can write the course here. But this is kind of what people feared when they said EA was getting the license.
Right.
EA's known for repackaging games.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you what, I mean, with some minor tweaks, Madden 18 is Madden 17,
Right. Yeah. I hear you.
So, but I guess on a good note, we'll finish this off with a little good news.
Okay.
As of today, as we're recording this, Count Dooku is now playable in Battlefront 2.
Sweet.
So, I don't see this as a consolation prize, but cool nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will play it. I will check out what Dooku brings to the table. I mean, Grievous is sweet.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool anyway.
Yeah, I really hope they can get it together. I know last week I was less angry.
Right.
About it. And then it's like, I kind of think about it a little more, and then I see Gary Whitta chime in. I'm like, yeah.
Exactly.
He's right.
Yes.
So, all right. So, Celebration.
Yeah.
The announcements keep coming. So, first off, they released the official poster art for Celebration.
Yep, this thing looks pretty cool too.
And I like that it is Star Wars start to finish.
Yes. There it is. I was trying to pull it up. Yeah, you kind of have the split, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leia, Luke, Vader, Dooku, and Palpatine. I don't know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting split because the like center focal piece here is the emblem of the Jedi Order.
Right.
So it's split in the middle. It's blue on one side, red on the other.
Right.
And it's cool. It's a very cool piece of art. Definitely looking forward to getting some merchandise with this art on it.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about it is usually when you see something like this, right, you see half of Vader's mask, and normally what you would see on the other side would be Anakin. But
right
here we have Luke. So, I don't know, definitely cool. Like, we have Episode 4 styled Leia. Classic right there. So
Yeah. So one thing that's interesting to me here, they got this split between light and dark, right?
yeah,
The position of Padme there, just like, I don't know why that stands out to me like that, but she's positioned like right in the middle.
yeah, that is strange, isn't it?
I mean, I understand that it's probably just for balance to the piece of art, because I mean, what do you put in the middle there? I mean, maybe they just said, okay, we'll put Padme right there because no one will question that. You put Kylo Ren right there, everybody's like,
Right, yeah. Yeah, what are you trying to tell us?
you put Luke right there.
Yep.
So I guess Padme, you just know where she stands, so
Yeah.
you're just not supposed to question that.
That's funny.
But like even the color for her right there is split,
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yep. Overall, awesome piece though.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool looking piece. They always seem to do well with these.
Yes.
You never look at this and go, yeah, I don't want that one. So, but along with that poster art, they announced some additional guests. I've tried so many times to say Jonas's last name.
Hey, we all know who you're talking about.
I know.
Chewie, man.
Chewie. So Jonas is going to be there. I guess it's no surprise right now, right? He's going to make his first Celebration appearance. He's really been, thrust into the spotlight over this last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because on Solo, he didn't split any time.
Right.
He was in the costume full time.
Yep, totally. And pull it off fabulously, I must say.
Oh, fantastic. Never during Solo did you go, yeah, it's not Chewbacca.
Right.
In fact, Chewbacca stole the show. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Mm-hmm. And along with him, you got Sam Witwer.
Nice.
So definitely going to be one of my targets in the autograph hall. Big fan of Sam Witwer and everything he does. If you love Star Wars, go check out his Twitch stream. I mean, he'll be playing whatever game, but he talks Star Wars.
Right.
So I like Sam. Sam's he's a fan first.
Absolutely.
So other notables is Greg Grunberg, who played Snap Wexley.
Right.
Dave Chapman, who was a puppeteer who helped bring BB-8, Rio Durant, and Lady Proxima to life.
Cool.
Let's see. Greg Proops. I believe that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He voiced Jack Cerverick and Garma in Resistance.
Cool.
Paul Casey, who played Admiral Raddus in Rogue One.
Aha.
We also got L.O.S. Esty. Ian McKinley, who played General Dodonna in Rogue One.
Nice.
And Orly Shoshan, who was Shaak Ti in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Awesome.
So very cool.
So still kind of waiting on the
The big
the
name.
big names. Yeah. These are big names. These are all.
Well,
folks
I would say Jonas is he's the first big name.
Yeah. yeah, true. Though newer to
Yeah, new blood,
yeah, exactly. But
but he's freaking Chewbacca, man.
exactly. There you go. He's freaking Chewbacca. But when we when we hear, okay, Billy D's gonna be there, Hamill, names like that.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, good luck.
He ain't gonna be there. We said that last time, though. Just throwing that out there.
Right. But yeah, which I'm sure they'll be there.
Right.
Especially with episode 9 coming out later in the year.
Yeah, we're waiting on the Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver.
Right.
So,
which, we know they'll be coming, but
right.
Still nice to hear.
Yeah. All right, so get moving along here too. Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So Disney Plus, the first look is coming. Unfortunately, it's going to be for shareholders or investors.
Right.
So they'll be giving a first look to investors at the investors meeting on April 11th, which is maybe you can take it from here, Doug. I don't know all the details here.
Well, this comes from a tweet by Todd Spangler. Disney says it will demo Disney Plus and at its investor day on April 11th, including first look at some of the original content for the streaming video on demand service. So, this article goes on to, let's see, in regards to the timing and celebration, where fans had already hoped they might get a first look at new content, the fact that the two events overlap makes it seem like a done deal that some of the content will be shown off at the Disney event will be Mandalorian footage that they can also provide to Star Wars fans. So
there's your offhanded big celebration announcement, right?
Yeah. So it sounds like we're going to be getting some footage from The Mandalorian. They're going to kind of show off the app and, some footage that we can see and hopefully we can see.
Right?
Because like you did say, this is for, Investor Day, but, every step along the way here is just a step closer to us being able to get the app and have this content at our fingertips. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and we really want to see something for The Mandalorian. So
totally.
So it looks like we're looking at an April timeline there. So
yep.
Which
at least for that part, I'm sure it's going to take a little while longer, for us to get the app and stuff, but they got to work out all the glitches, right?
Yeah. No surprise though that it's going to overlap Celebration and that we would be seeing something for The Mandalorian at Celebration. This is no surprise.
Right.
So
right. As a for the company, Disney, it only makes sense to kind of like, I don't know, I guess you could say kill two birds with one stone, right? You have this Mandalorian footage, and it's something that the Celebration fans are going to want to see. So, let's roll all that out together at the same time. So,
right. Yeah. Makes sense. We'll call it a speculative confirmation.
Right.
So, all right. Resistance. We watched it.
Yes, we did.
Better this week.
Yes.
Definitely more fun. Kaz gets himself in another situation, and we're starting to see a little more competency out of Kaz.
Really?
I'd say so.
He got locked in a box.
Yeah, but he got out of the situation pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, you're
He was
right.
thinking on his feet a little better, with Bitey there.
Yeah. Right off the bat when the episode starts, I'm jumping the gun with the box thing, but he seemed to have taken some initiative that he hasn't done so far. It's one of those things, they're working on the Fireball. He replaced the engine, and he had to what was the part that he had installed incorrectly?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Some sort of a stabilizer or something, some sort of coupler, but
It might have been a power coupler.
might have been a power coupler, but it's so he's made the step from not knowing what a hydrospanner was to actually being able to get some work done and impressing the rest of his crew there. And you see the appreciation in those characters. So that was kind of cool. That is a step forward for Kaz.
Yeah, like a little bit of competency.
Right. But then later he locks himself in a box.
To be fair, he didn't lock himself in the box.
I know, but he walked right into that trap. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Again, I understand this is intended for kids, but man, what happened with and I forget the character's name. Came looking for that part.
Oh yeah, I should have wrote that down.
Yeah, me too. But I saw this was coming down Broadway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you've got one of these in the store that he's watching for Orca and Flicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he can't sell it to him. So, okay, yeah, I'll take a bunch of this other stuff, but I need you to deliver it. So the store's unattended. Got it. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
I don't know.
All in all, I think it was a better episode.
It was. Better than the, the mommy monster looking for the baby monster. Definitely. Using Bitey as a way to bring down this ship as it's taken off. I don't understand how this thing survives all this chewing on electrical wires and stuff, but that was kind of crazy. But and finds its way onto Kaz's escape pod, so he lucks out there. That's cool.
The funny thing is he looked like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when the one character comes in, he's like, "Hey," he turns around, looks at him, and then goes right back to biting that thing. So, So, yeah, we talked off mic tonight about where is a bucket Funko Pop, right?
Yeah.
Where's a Bitey Funko Pop? That's what I'm
Yeah, totally.
So, we need a bucket. We need a Bitey.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good fun episode. It was a little more action this time, and I enjoyed that. Even though it was a big monster attacking the station, that episode lacked action.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. But I guess I'm, from the the mid-season trailer that we saw, I guess I am really amped up to get into some of the stuff we saw in that. And I'm just hoping that it's not just the last 2 or 3 episodes. I know it's gotta end in a climactic fashion, cliffhanger kind of thing for us, I bet. But because we know we have a season 2 of this. But
that's what I was just gonna say.
I just hope they spread it out a little bit through the rest of the episodes. And because here's another thing I was thinking of, right away is Kaz still has BB-8.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Poe's got to come back and take BB-8 with him. So, that's just a little minor detail. But judging from the timeline and what we saw some of the trailer.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna start ramping up. So,
yeah. I'm excited for that part of the show, and I just can't wait for it to get here, I guess.
Right.
It'll be good.
All right. If you have anything to add to the conversation, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. And you can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
Nope. Think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.